December 8th, 2022, I made my Chainsaw Man chapter 113 or 112 and 113 review. And it was going over two chapters, both of them revolving around the developments in Asa and Denji's relationship and what it meant going forward. And then I dropped off the face of the earth for nearly 3 months, or at least for Chainsaw content. And then I upload a One Piece review where I say I'm going to go record the Chainsaw one after this. I never did. I lied. But that's why I'm here today. I am here to to go over all the chapters that have released since then, give my thoughts, my opinions. We're not going to be doing any of the theory stuff, mostly because with so many chapters, I can make a theory for 114 and have it disproven by the time we get up to date. So I believe I have up until 221, 222, I don't know. I know that 222 possibly got leaked, so we'll see. Ordinarily, I'd be recording the video on Premiere on OBS, and I'd edit that up, but I'm just recording the audio straight, and I'll make the visuals later. So if the visuals are kind of stagnant throughout this video, I just didn't feel like editing. Okay? Okay. So when we last were with Denji and Asa, they were on their date in the aquarium. And it ended with the Eternity Devil making itself known yet again. And it was perfectly lined up with the Eternity Devil arc in the anime. Amazing. Like, amazing timing. And now we pick up with Asa and Denji walking through the aquarium. Asa doesn't want to listen to Denji, even though he's saying it's the Eternity Devil, and she's not believing that he's a devil hunter, and he's saying, I know more about devils than you think, but Asa wants to turn around and say she's in the Devil Hunter Club, and then, boom, we reintroduce ourselves to the Devil Hunter Club. The leader, the big boy with the eye patch, and then the small person, I forget the names. It's Kobini's sibling, Haruka. But also, Yoshida is here. Yoshida has been this constant question mark throughout the part 2 of what we've seen of him. Is why is he everywhere? Like, we know what he's doing, but like, why is he here like he is? You know. Also, I was wrong. Haruka is the leader. Sorry. But Yoshida has always been where Denji is. He's pretty much never left him alone. And we get some dynamics between the Devil Hunters, everyone that's there. And then we get to remember why we are here. Famine has locked them in the aquarium because Asa has to turn Denji into a weapon. And Haruka is the Devil Hunter Club president, as he says here. And he is going to order the attack on the Eternity Devil. And Asa thinks that he's Chainsaw Man, and Denji is just fucking brain dead. But the group keeps going through, and we get to see everyone's kind of doing their own thing. They're all investigating, trying to find a way out. There's not a way out. But they find, right? They find. They need to have, they need to set off the fire, the blah, 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 blah. They need fire to cook the food that they have, but, Kobini's sibling, has a lighter, because apparently bullies make them light the cigarettes, I don't know. But Asa can't eat fish. And she says, fish just look like too much of a dead animal. It grosses me out. And then she leaves, and Denji's out there. And Denji admits that he was picking up a 1,000 yen note that was on the ground back where they were. And Asa calls him a thief. And then, well, to directly quote her, that's theft. You're a thief. And they get into a little bit of an argument, not too big. And they kind of have a falling out. They tell each other to go to hell, go to hell, go to hell, go to hell, whatever. And I think Asa finally realizes the fact that she can't really go anywhere. And she says, I'm not a loser like Denji. I have to contribute to the group somehow. And she has a cell phone. But it was technically her mom's. And they are trying to get signal on it. and President Guy is telling her to keep trying. They're trying to get Asa as high as possible, and then she falls. Not just falls, she breaks the phone. They're fucked, and Yoshida's laughing his ass off. And if you watch as it's going, they're trying to get her as high as possible, but she just kind of falls. It's Yoshida's in the background in the panel where everyone's reacting, so questionable if he did anything. But Chainsaw Fake says that Asa isn't a team player, and she fails to come in clutch. He expected better from her. And she's sitting alone in the hallway all sad and shit, right? That's the end of 114. That's one chapter down already. So if we can just keep this pace going, it's whatever. I'm joking. All in all, a good chapter. Good Fujimoto pacing chapter, giving us a lot of characterization and all that. I've sung Fujimoto's pacing praises enough. And we move forward. Asa is saying this is the aquarium from hell. The hallway goes on endlessly. You'll never get out. The clock cans don't move. You can't flush the toilets. The fish are starting to rot in their tank. The fish started to rot in their tanks yesterday. And the Chainsaw Faker just immediately does not skip a beat. We'd have escaped by now if he just hadn't broken the cell phone. And he comes out and he just admits it because Asa says that he's Chainsaw Man. I'm Chainsaw Man? What are you talking about? And she talks about the starter on his chest. And he says, that's a surgical implant. It's one of the reasons they say I'm the man who comes closest to Chainsaw Man. President of the Chainsaw Man Society High School's chapter, runner-up in the Chainsaw Man quiz show contest, owner of every piece of Chainsaw Man merchandise. I can't blame you for thinking I was him. So he is just Chainsaw Man's #1 fan. And then he breaks down and says, if I were Chainsaw Man, we would have broken out of this hellhole in no time. Save me, Chainsaw Man. I'm in here. SOS, SOS to Chainsaw Man. And then we cut to Yoshida and Denji, and they're watching some of the fish. And Yoshida tells him, that's your cute, Chainsaw Man. Isn't there something you can do? And Denji responds, I was able to kill the devil last time because it came at us. This one's nowhere to be found. My hands are tied. Can't you do something? And Yoshida has a cell phone. And he says, the signal alone isn't enough to get a call out. Feels like it's been over 3 days. If help hasn't arrived by now, I'm guessing time the aquarium has stopped. So they are pretty much frozen in time. And he says, the others all seem to have given up. To be honest, I've made peace with death this time. Do you think Chainsaw Man would eat it for us? The Death Devil. If I'm remembering correctly, the Darkness Devil is what the Doll Devil ate back in part 1, got really strong. And darkness is just a primal fear. But death is the primal fear. Death is the thing that everything is afraid of. Even the people who have accepted death, they are not afraid of it. They still have a looming sense of fear of death, in my opinion at least. And he is alluding to the fact that if Chainsaw Man ate that, he'd probably be unstoppable. He'd be able to save everyone. Because with the build-up, do you think Chainsaw Man would eat it for us? Either the group or humanity in general. And Denji says, the others are all starting to lose it. Are you holding up okay? Talking to Asa. And she says she's hungry, but she can't eat the fish. And she starts breaking down as well. I'm sorry for asking you on a date. It's my fault you got mixed up in this. You won't understand this, but I was trying to turn you into a weapon. But even cornered and starving like this, I just can't do it. Not because I don't have the guts or because it goes against my principles. The reason is I can't because I have no idea what's right or wrong. That's why I'm a total bore. My life is just one long string of attempts to avoid making mistakes. And Denji shows up because he disappeared. He says, what are you muttering to yourself about? You can't eat fish, right? Have you ever tried starfish? And he seems to have... He has a starfish now. I don't know if he went to like a different enclosure and got one, or if he just took it out of that tank. But the video title of what's happening between Denji and Asa for the last video really doesn't do it justice, because this right here is something else. Like, these chapters in the aquarium really are building Asa and Denji's relationship, which I think I just blew my load early with that title. But somebody, I think it's Asa, is going through all the starfish and saying these ones aren't edible, and it says you can technically eat starfish, but are you really going to do it? And Denji responds again, you can't eat fish, right? The starfish is your only choice. And Asa says, but they're toxic, you have to boil them to make them safe to eat. And he says, no problem. And there's just a random pot. They can boil it. He swiped the Kobeni siblings' lighter, as he refers to them, a glass liquor, because that's, I guess, how that person was coping. And they're boiling it. And Asa asks why there's so many school hats in here. And he responds, I collected them to sell them when we get back. And Asa asks, why are you so obsessed with making money? And he explains it. I've got this sort of friend, sort of little sister living with me. She's smart enough to go to college. I'm saving up for tuition. College is crazy expensive, right? See, my life was always crappy before. I want her to have a normal life. And then the food is ready. But that little bit of characterization for Denji, we knew that. We know, or I think a lot of people had an idea that that's why he was doing what he was doing. But getting that said, into Asa is this big break. Because holy shit, he's human. He has family. He has a reason to do what he's doing. And they eat the starfish. They open them up, eat them. And he says that it tastes like a gross sea urchin. But Asa said it's not enough. And after they eat the starfish, I guess it'd be that thing. You put off wanting to eat long enough, but then you have one piece of food, and it just opens the floodgates. So she's looking at all the fish that are over there, and she just rips them apart. She's eating it. And he says, Denji just says that she's fun. And he pretty much apologizes for her, like to herself for her. What you're saying is totally boring, but you're interesting to watch. Yeah, that's right. I'm an interesting woman. I'm fun, right? Yeah. I'm glad you noticed. You have a good eye. I'm charming, aren't I? And that panel of her pointing at him. He says it himself too. I like that attitude. It reminds me of an old friend. That is the closest we have gotten to power since what happened. And I love that because Denji thrived in that dynamic. But just seeing that again and him being able to identify that is amazing. And she says that she thinks she has a way out of this, and it's that they have to collect money. And he starts telling her, there's 1,000 yen in the backpack on the ground. There's also this wallet in the lounge with 14,000 yen inside. So they're going around taking all this money, swiping it up, having a good time doing it. They're smiling and stuff. And they collected over 1 million yen. And Asa tells him to give it to her, and he says, not on your life. And she tells him, once we're out of here, I'll grant you any request. And he just gives her the bag. Even though, as he breaks down later, why did he do that? He had told himself that he wouldn't listen to or do what other people want for just their desires. So she takes the money, he walks away, covers his eyes on her orders, and she is buying the aquarium and turns it into an aquarium spear. And that is the end of 116. So what the move was, it doesn't take a master to see it. The plan was collect the money, mentally buy the aquarium, and create a spear. Because if you bought it, it belongs to you. Good idea, but not enough money. So Denji asks at the beginning of this chapter, wait a sec, what am I doing? I made up my mind to quit the mindless obedience, but if I obey her, she'll grant me any request. And then he sees a penguin on the ground, fish all around him, and he picks it up, and they're outside. And he's distracted by the penguin, so he's not really focused on what's going on around him. And boom, Eternity Devil is right there. Kind of just like a sludge monster, to be fair. And Asa has kind of like a fish duodent, like a trident but only with two, and it's just made of fish. And the Eternity Devil says, a measly million yen. A measly million yen can't buy an aquarium, you moron. And Kobeni's sibling and everyone else realize that they're out. And the Attorney Devil says, "Famine that bitch. This wasn't the deal. Damn it. Damn you to... Bleep. Damn it. To hell with you." And he goes to kill Asa, but a tentacle wraps around its arm, and Yoshida says, "I need you to die. Thanks, though. The sky has never looked more beautiful to me. You taught me to appreciate it." And squishes the Attorney Devil's arm off. And Asa is now gone. We have Yoru finally. And Yoru says, "The guilt of ruining Aquarium. You really feel guilty over that. That's just like you, Asa." And boom! We're back to just straight Yoru. Doing some cool spear shit. Ripping the Attorney Devil's finger projectiles apart. And just straight murks the Attorney Devil. Blows it to bits. Fish, sharks, and everything fly out of it. And fake Chainsaw Man realizes that power. Could it be? And that's just where that ends. Denji has the penguin and wants to keep him. And Famine is watching from a nearby rooftop. And is saying, so much for that idea. And she makes eye contact with Yoshida. And then cut. Next time we see the group, Yoshida, I believe it's Yoshida at least, is staring at the ground. And the police are around, the office, or I'm going to guess devil hunters, actually. The students are giving their reports. Fake Chainsaw Man's giving his report. Denji watches as the penguin gets taken away. Asa looks on as Denji is sad. Asa and Denji are walking together to Asa's home. And Asa says, "This has to be the worst date ever." And Denji replies, "It wasn't so bad. I got to touch a penguin. You said you'd grant me any request, right? In that case, go on another date with me. I have more experience dating. I'll teach you how to have the best dates ever." And she agrees. And Yoru gives us the magic word that I think we were all kind of expecting at some point. "I see. This feeling must be love. I can't believe I'd feel any affection for this punk. It's only possible because I share your brain. Still, this means we can proceed with the plan." And Yoru, because Asa wouldn't do it, as she said in the aquarium, she has no idea what's right or wrong. Yoru grabs Denji's head and says, "Denji spinal cord sword." And when this happened, holy shit, Twitter was insane. It was chaotic. Everyone thought kind of that, holy shit, this is it, like Denji's dead. Or that there was going to be some copium on how he gets out. And it's not as insane as everyone thought it would be. He explains it himself that he is his own person. He doesn't really, view himself to be someone else's. And he jokes around and he does it to her. And we get some explanation. "Why couldn't I turn him? You'd hit it off so well. It means he doesn't like me that way, right? Not that I care, since I don't like him either. No matter, we discovered that we can also share emotions like affection. We'll take our time winning the boy's heart while we search for Chainsaw Man. You barely slept while you were trapped in the aquarium, right? I'm tired. I'm going to sleep. What's the deal with that girl who trapped us in there? Isn't she your big sister? That was Famine Devil. I hadn't seen her in so long that I didn't recognize her. Famine is crazy. Whatever you do, steer clear of her. Even though she's your family." And boom, Yoru is out. And Asa's kind of thinking about all the moments she had with Denji throughout the last few chapters. And she says, "He said those things, but he doesn't like me." Excuse me? After all that, he doesn't like me. Unbelievable. He's so irritating. I hate him. And this is, I should say it. I don't know if I've said this, because it's been a while since I did a Chainsaw review. I don't like Asa's character. I haven't for a long time. Ever since she became the very conceited, overconfident asshole. But that's that is her character. So I'm not, too upset about it. But it's just frustrating, because she very clearly likes Denji, at least. And she refuses blatantly to accept her emotions. 2, she is coping so hard that he is the issue. And it's just so annoying. But we cut to the next day, and it's Denji. And he says, "Here's my super best ever date plan. The local movie theater is running an all-night movie marathon tonight. We'll watch mummy movies nonstop until 2 a.m. for only 2,000 yen. Awesome, right? Let's do it. And she says it costs 2,000 yen, but he's like, yeah, but it's as many mummy movies as you want to watch. And she says movie rentals are cheaper. She doesn't want to go on any pricey dates. And he retorts, I mean, sure, that works too. You got a VCR at home? And she doesn't, but he does. And she wants to go to Denji's place, but there's a bit of an issue. He agrees we can watch movies at my place, but on one condition. You have to follow our home's rules. There are rules that no one can break no matter what. And worst case scenario, you break the rules and you die. And the entire time this is happening, fake Chainsaw Man is over there watching. Because I think he's intrigued by Asa. So I think he's just going to follow them around and get into some goofy shenanigans with them in the upcoming arc. Because we're coming up on the chapters. I think I read, this was 118. I read, I believe, 119, and I have not read any of the chapters since, because I kind of wanted to do a blind review of the chapters going through. So, they are, please load. The chapter's title is Thief, and unbreakable rule number 1, don't open the door at any apartment other than mine. She asks why she would open them, and he says, good point. And they come inside, they sit down, and I believe they watch a movie, because like they're both sitting in front of a TV. And there's a little sign that says March Farts Denji Na Yuta, because that's her name. And Denji says, oh, rule number 2, don't open the fridge. And she also says it's common sense not to open someone else's fridge. And he realizes. Rule number 3, this is the most important one. My roommate's out walking the dog. She'll be home soon. She's a huge problem child with an extreme personality. No matter what, don't make out with me in front of her. And Asa's fucking offended. Excuse me? Like hell am I gonna make out with you? That is not why I came over. And Denji, like, explains, like, I know, but one thing might lead to another. And she's losing her shit. She's ripping him apart. In your dreams, why would you ever bring that up? Do you think I like you? And he's like, well, I mean, you asked me on a date. I figured you must, like, 90% like me. And she retorts, there's no way I'd like you. On the contrary, I hate you. And then she's confused. Say, what? You hate me? And she's like, yeah, I hate you. Besides, bleh. You have rules you have to obey or die, right? Well, so do I. You should just stay away from me, Denji, or you'll wind up dead. I only went on a date with you because I wanted a distraction. I'll leave after the movie. And it's kind of sad, but if you think about it, right, she views herself as an unlucky person. Like, everyone around her will always die. And for a decent part, yeah, that's a good point. But Denji has not had the best run of luck either. Everyone he's gotten close to has died as well. And Denji looks at her, kind of hesitates, and then looks back at the movie. And it's like he doesn't really want to accept it, but he does. And we get some of his inner monologue. So she was only using me. Is it normal to ask someone on a date because you like them? Did I do something wrong? Was it that feeding her starfish thing? Somebody once told me that I smell like wet dog. I thought it was a compliment. Maybe they meant that I stink. Maybe Asa hates me because I stink. I liked her a little, but if I stink, I guess that's that. Should I not sleep with the dogs? Wait a sec. Dogs don't stink. And then he just verbally, like, says it. Dogs don't stink, right? And then Yoru is just smacking on Denji. Just straight smacking. And before anyone can realize what's happening, Nayuta is at the door. The dogs fly in, and she calls them thief. And chains go through Asa's head. And that is where the end of what I have read so far is. So these next few chapters I've never read. 122 is out, possibly. I don't know. But we start off Asa with a chain through her head, or Yoru with a chain through her head, I should say. And she starts acting like a dog. And Denji asks what did she do, and now he just says turned her into her dog. Why? because she put spit on my property. And this is where we get Denji saying it. I'm my own property. Turn her back this instant. That's why she couldn't turn him into a sword. That is why. He is his own property. He is his own person. Nobody will ever control him. Nobody will ever own him. He is him own. And she says she's hungry, so she can't do it. And then he makes a deal with her that she'll turn Asa back once she's eaten. And Denji says, finish your food and turn her back already. I'm serious. Nayuta's fighting with the dogs that they want to eat. And it's just kind of a normal meal. I mean, and Nayuta says, are you sure you want me to turn her back? And Denji, what the fuck do you mean? Denji, every woman you meet tries to kill you, right? What makes you think this dog is any different? Talking about Asa. Why? It's the feeling I get. And Nayuta isn't gonna argue. If you say so, it's not like you to die. It's not like you die. Okay, I'll turn her back on 2 conditions. If you don't abide by them, I'll leave her a dog for life. 1, from now on, you let me eat ice cream every day. And he makes a deal. And he makes the deal as long as he gets some too. 2, no more getting friendly with her. Believe me, you're better off that way. I don't like her scent. And if you remember, right, back when Denji, after Aki died, when him and Power were in the apartment together, he went out to get ice cream. And that's when he ran into Makima. That's when he fell into being her dog. That's when Power died. It all happened because of ice cream. So ice cream has such a big meaning to Denji, it's kind of insane. And Denji asks what Nayuta means by her scent. And he asks, does she smell like wet dog? And Nayuta says, no, that's a good smell. Anyway, don't act friendly with her. I'll alter her memory so she thinks you stood her up today. And Denji's like, what the fuck do you mean? But she'll hate me. And Nayuta says, so what? You're done getting close to her anyway. And Denji kind of accepts it and says, you come first, Nayuta. And it seems like the peace sign is kind of her thing. And Yoru is taking the lead after Asa gets dropped off. So it's getting dark. I think we've been stood up. It's possible he truly isn't into you. He seemed taken with you on the aquarium date, but we might be better off targeting a different boy. And Asa is coping. Hard cope. He must have forgotten. Not that I care. I mean, I was only doing this date to warn him to stay away from me anyway. I didn't want to spend that much money on dating. Plus, I wanted to do my schoolwork. In fact, you know what? I'm glad he forgot. I'll admit to feeling the slightest desire for human touch for a moment there, but that only happened because I was confined in a small space with a member of the opposite sex for an extended period of time. It was the hormones kicking in. At the end of the day, my priority is to beat Chainsaw Man and get my body back. There's no reason for me to be so stuck on Denji. Actually, I prefer solitude. I'll have to easier time attaining my own personal happiness without him, you know? And Yoru is like, because obviously when she rambles, she's losing it. And she asks what's wrong with me? All I should care about is getting my body back. And boom, Yoshida's there, which is weird, right? He usually tells Denji, and he asks if she's okay. And she asks what he wants. He says, what are you doing? She says absolutely nothing. And Yoshida asks her to keep him company for a little bit. An interesting look on Asa's face. Moving on. We're getting into the chapters I know for a fact I haven't read. I might have read that last chapter. They're in the Devil Hunter Club student council office, and he's giving her coffee, and she asks if you're sure we can drink this. Isn't this the Devil Hunter Club's? And he says, I don't see why not. You're technically a member. And then we get some information we might have needed on him, you know. Hirofumi Yoshida, the guy who rejected me when Yoru randomly asked him out, he's with Denji a lot. They say he's a public safety devil hunter despite being in high school. He must be busy. Why spend this time on a loner like me? Could it be he started noticing me after I asked him out? And he asked, what were you mumbling about back at the school gates? And she says that life is easier on your own. And he responds, I question why you'd think that out loud. I agree with you more or less, though. It's probably easier to get by living with another person, one thing leading to another, but there's no guarantee you'll build a permanently mutual agreeable relationship. These days with books and TV, you can have one-sided parasocial relationships. The solitary life is less risky. And she agrees with him. He's affirming my values. He does like me. Oh my gosh. Because apparently to her, just agreeing with her is how you say that you like her. And he says, I'm glad we're on the same page. There's something I've wanted to tell you for a while now. The thing is, I want you to stay away from Denji. And she's confused and asks why. And he says, I'd rather not say. You can interpret it however you'd like. I'm glad we had this chat. Have a good one. And Nayuta says she smells something nasty. It's the nastiest devil scent I've ever smelled. Go, Chainsaw Man. It's devil hunting time. But Denji is just fucking tired. And he says, I don't feel like being Chainsaw Man anymore. And Nayuta asks why. And he says, because even if everyone finds out I'm him, the ladies all want me, you're going to block me anyway. And Nayuta says, no way. I want to watch you fight. I want to watch. And Denji asks the question that every kid his age probably asks themselves. Am I going to be single for life? And he continues to say, and Nayuta continues to say, if you turn to Chainsaw Man, lots of people will like you. You could get way, way more love than from any girlfriend. Doesn't that sound super awesome? And Denji says, let me think it over. Hell yeah. So Asa's walking, I believe, home. She's saying, I'm quick to convince myself someone likes me when I'm wrong, my feelings get hurt. A life of solitude really would be better than feeling like this. And Yoru just straight up agrees. You may be right. There's nothing even good about me. Who am I even living for? I only care about myself, yet whenever I get lonely, I crave companionship. How arrogant is that? And Yoru agrees. I know you're arrogant, Asa, but me thinks you're being a little too down on yourself. I'm just tired. Tired of my inability to maintain a lasting relationship with another human being. Maybe I'd be better off dead. And then, boom, someone lands right in the grass, and there's just a bunch of people staying on the porches around her, and Yoru takes priority and tells Asa to stay back. And I like this thing. Every time we get a mode switch to Yoru, I don't know about Yoru to Asa, but you always see their body kind of like slumpy, like kind of drooping over, leaning onto a shoulder. And I just really like that. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Chapter 122. The most recent chapter. The reason I'm doing this is because I realize it's Tuesday. That means a chapter dropped, so I figured I'd record this whole thing and get it done before another chapter drops. And we're with Famine. And FYI, I should say, this chapter is leaked. So I will not be putting a picture of it up for obvious reasons. I don't even know if I'm going to be putting pictures of each chapter up or how I'm going to do that. But there will not be a picture of this chapter up on the screen. Because if this is actually a leak, that's something. But if this is an official release, it's okay. But this is a leak. I don't know why the chapter isn't actually out yet. They might have had a note at the end of the chapter. They didn't have a note at the end of the chapter, so never mind. But yeah. So no picture. And we start off with Famine Devil and Yoshida. And Famine Devil is ordering all this food. Honey toast, seasonal fruit platter, vanilla ice cream, chocolate cake, Japanese pancake, strawberry parfait. Give me 5 servings of each. And Yoshida, you very quickly get the sense of what this is. I know I said I'm treating, but 5 servings? And she says, you're the one who told me to come. Of course you should treat me. And he agrees. I had no idea you'd actually come, Kiga-senpai. However, shouldn't I be calling you Famine Devil? And she says, call me Kiga. And he's like, okay, Kiga. It's said the devils aren't really good at giving themselves names. But you have no intention of hiding your name at all, huh? Nothing will happen. And I'm going to assume that it's some kind of pun about famine or fammy or what. Because we were calling her Fammy for a while. But yeah. She says, nothing will happen if people know about me. So what did you want me for? And he says, it's not so much a rumor, but there have been whispers of urban legend lately. The prophecy of Nostradamus. July 1999, the king of fear descends from the heavens. Nostradamus' prophecy says that mankind will be wiped out. Public opinion was in an uproar. Although this only sparked discussion across TV stations and school children, public safety took it seriously. Public safety conducted an experiment. They made 30 convicts contract with the future devil to see when they would die. The result was surprising. 23 of the 30 convicts died July 1999. And Famine asks, so what? And he responds, we know you made the deal with the future devil. Public safety believes your recent relationship is related to Nostradamus' prophecy. I'm only here because my superiors asked me to be here. If you refuse to comment, public safety will consider you a hostile devil. And Famine spills the beans. The remaining 7 will all die this week. And she continues to say, 40 seconds ago, a devil appeared in the residential area of East District's Tamano. That devil is the root of the world's fear. Her name is the root of all fear. Her name is... And we don't get an actual name. And then we cut to some random people. And it's a boyfriend and a girlfriend, I'm going to assume. And he says, my boss told me I'm getting a promotion next month. She says, congrats. He says, thanks. I'm so great, aren't I? She says, yeah, you're awesome. Will you be getting a pay raise? I should, but I don't know for sure. One thing's for certain, my responsibilities will go up. Can I get a car? Okay, it's a boy and his mom, I'm thinking. Can I get a car? And she says, how many times have you asked? No, just take the bus. And then he continues, then again, maintaining a car is quite expensive. Would it be better off if we were dead? Dead? Let's die then. And they both climb over the awning of their apartment and they fall to their deaths. And then we get a wide shot of everyone that was on the edge of the apartment building that Asa was standing next to, and they're all falling to their deaths. Everyone's dying. And Yoru makes a ruler sword, a decent, understandable weapon. And all the dead bodies kind of start to pile up, and Yoru realizes something. I made a mistake. I misjudged this feeling. I can't fight her. And it seems to be taking the form of a female body with a lot of arms, because Fujimoto loves flexing the fact that he can draw hands and arms well. So this is kind of the question. Is this a death? Is this the Death Devil? I am kind of on board saying yes, because with the dialogue from Fami about a devil appeared, and we don't get the actual name, but then we immediately cut to a couple of people talking about would it be better off if we were dead. That seems very purposeful, especially with Asa's talking beforehand how it'd be better off if she was dead. And I feel like the Death Devil is the obvious answer, but I'd be interested to see if this is another devil that isn't death, some out of left field answer like the Falling Devil. I don't know, but like I said, I feel like the Death Devil is just kind of the obvious answer to this. It's going to be interesting because obviously, if this is death or if it's anything close to a primal fear, I don't think Yoru can really fight that, especially not with a good weapon, especially without a good weapon. It would be different if the buildings that she was near was her apartment. Sorry, if it was her apartment, because then she has all these weapons that she can make out of her shit. But I don't know if it is. I doubt it. It might be. I don't know. But it's going to be interesting to see how this fight plays out. Obviously, Yoru is not exactly the most powerhouse fighter. She's more reliant on tricks, sneak attacks, stealth, all that. Denji, however, is en route. I'm calling it he's going to be on this scene. He left the house that Nayuta was at, the apartment, because Nayuta smelled the devil. So my guess is Denji's on his way from his place to fight this. We're going to get a Chainsaw Man and War Devil pair fight the Death Devil, then shenanigans happen, as they tend to happen in Chainsaw Man. But then again, I'm also the person who has publicly said I don't like guessing Chainsaw Man future chapters because Fujimoto always cooks more than I can expect. He has these crackpot ideas that I can never expect. So, long story short, we'll see. I'm done with the guessing. I'm done with everything about that. What happens. We'll see. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. The audio right now is coming up on 40 minutes. It is 40 minutes long now. I don't know if I'm going to cut it all out, cut it down and stuff, but I don't know. Yeah. But if you enjoyed this video, because I know my Chainsaw Man videos usually get the better views out of my chapter reviews. So it's going to be interesting to see if people actually watch this. If so, hi. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. If not, whatever. But yeah. I hope to do these weekly again. I don't really know. I don't want to make this kind of event thing, but, doing these weekly just kind of get me down the dumps. I realized that, like, oh, a Chainsaw chapter comes out, and then boom, another one comes out a week after, and I have done nothing with my life in that week. It's just depression. It's whatever. I'll deal with it as I always have. One foot in front of the other. It'll all get better. I know. But I also like doing these batch reviews because it just lets me go over more material at once. I said it with the One Piece review that I did. So yeah. I'm going to finish recording the audio. Maybe cut it down. I'm not too sure. And then do some light editing. And yeah. Okay. Until next time, stay safe, have fun, and read more manga. Okay, guys. Bye.